Good morning. I ponder the idea of a millennial, a Generation X-er, and a baby boomer. We are coming. No, as a matter of fact, we are already here. The work environment is changing rapidly. There are approximately 80 million baby boomers, 78 million millennials, and a mere 50 million Generation X-ers. What does this mean, and why should we care? Not only should journalists take note of these numbers, but every single American. But why? It's simple. There's simply not enough Generation Xers to replace the baby boomers. So that means my generation, the mighty millennials, would have to come in much earlier and take over these roles. But how are we going to do that? It's not just about hard work. You can be given a job, but you cannot be given success. So how are we going to do it? That's what I'm going to talk to you about today. I grew up in Atlanta, the son of a police officer and a medical professional, and I was taught to believe, like every single other person, the millions of people out there, that hard work will be rewarded. However, that is simply not the case. There are some interesting components of this story. There are similarities and teachable elements to everyone's career path, but we all have a unique career path. My mentor, who's a former CEO, told me this: there is no such thing as luck. Luck is the meeting point between preparation and opportunity. Again, it's not just about hard work, and it will not be only about hard work. I learned that as a young adult, but even earlier as a teenager working in corporate America. It's a crazy story, I have to tell you. When I was 15 years old, I had always wanted to be an on-camera meteorologist. I love chasing tornadoes. Kind of crazy, I know, but it's true. So I got my start at the age of 15 at the National Weather Service, and then my high school counselor said, "Joe, there's an amazing opportunity to work at CNN in the summer program." Really? Who knew? What do you think, Joe? Dr. Scruggs, you know exactly what I think. I'm going to apply for this job. I applied for the job, and I ended up getting the job because I gave the 5-day forecast to one of the human resources recruiters who was going on vacation with her family to Orlando, Florida. When she got back from vacation, she said, "You know what? Your forecast was 100%. I said, "Well, I told you, I'm a meteorologist." But the story got even more crazier because, again, here I am, 16 years old, in corporate America, working at CNN. As I was getting ready to transition from high school into college, human resources came back to me. They said, "Well, Joe, you've been doing such a phenomenal job these past 2 summers here at the company. We want you to continue to work for us while you're in college." Really? Okay. So they told me about this awesome program called the Emma Bowen Foundation. And essentially this program allows students, while they're undergraduates, to work in a major company, in my case, a media company, and they help to give you money to go to college and everything in between. So that was awesome. It was a win-win opportunity for me. So while I was there, I was not only working in my line of interest, but I was also getting money to go to college. You know, fake IDs, socializing, drugs, alcohol, going to clubs. That was what my friends were doing while they were in college. But me, I was focused on my success, and I was doing exactly what I wanted to do. What I want to talk to you about is that upon self-reflection, there are 2 elements that I feel have contributed to my success in corporate America: attitude and fearlessness. Let me give you a definition of what each of those mean. Attitude, always maintaining a positive aura, having enthusiasm, always running towards assignments, that others are running away from. Fearlessness, not letting others persuade you, change your objectives and your plans, or put up a roadblock for you. So, let me give you some examples of both attitude and fearlessness. The first example would be, well, let me back up just a little bit. My present role at CNN is a news editor. And as a news editor, I oversee news gathering for the United States and Canada. Essentially, that means I'm the person who's finding stories and breaking them on CNN's platforms. Now on to the example. Attitude. My bosses approached me and said, hey, Joe, we want you to work on the overnight hours. The overnight hours? What? Oh, that's right. This is not a 9-to-5 job. This is a 24/7 business. I forgot about that. I'm sorry. I said, okay, I will take this position. Turned out this was an amazing opportunity for me because it's only me who's working this shift from 10:30 at night until 8:30 in the morning. There's no supporting staff. There's no management. I'm the person who's making the crucial decisions about what stories are going to appear on CNN and all of our platforms. So I maintain that positive energy. It has worked out fabulous for me and my career. I get to interact with the CEO, and who gets to do that all the time, right? And it's quite a remarkable job. The next example I want to go into is fearlessness. So working on the overnight shift, I happened to come into work a Saturday evening at 10:30. My colleague, Janet, said, hey, Joe, there's a story that has happened in Ferguson, Missouri. A black teenager has been shot and killed by a white police officer. The first thing that came to mind was, oh my gosh, this is probably not going to turn out to be a good night for me. So, as I always do, I step up to the plate and hit home runs out the park, not to brag. So I got on the phone because in order to report a story, we must make sure that all of our information has balance and all sides are represented. I contacted the Ferguson Police Department multiple times, but was unsuccessful. I said, okay, I was not going to let that deter me. I was going to continue to press for the answers. So I ended up doing some research, came across the grandmother's phone number and the uncle. I called the grandmother. I said, hey, this is Joe at CNN. I'm sorry to hear about the situation, but I would like to get an understanding as to what happened with your grandson. She was really upset, obviously, and so she gave me a little information and also let me talk to the uncle that evening. And that was kind of morning now. Got the information that I needed from the family. Again, it was an incomplete story. Had to run back around to the police department. Ring, 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 ring. Still not getting the answers that I need. I need your police chief. I need to confirm this story. Finally, staying with the course, I got the chief of police on the phone, if my memory serves me correctly. He gave me the information that I needed, and boom, I had all sides represented. 6 o'clock Sunday morning, we put the story on air. And that's an example of fearlessness. My next example is going to be about attitude. This example is interesting because working in the field, you're exposed to a variety of people, baby boomers and Generation X-ers. I can't tell you how many times I've been underestimated. I've always been the youngest, generally, in any position that I've done. But I never let that deter me. As a matter of fact, that gives me energy. Being underestimated is one of the most powerful things that anyone can do for you because you get to prove people wrong. You get to show them what you're all about. You get to step up to the plate and hit those home runs out the park. And you do get some respect. I have to mind you, you don't always get the respect from these people. But this is a work environment. You always have to maintain your professionalism, and you always need to be respectful. If you happen to be able to work with these people, great, and they show some difference towards you, awesome. If they do not make any changes, you know what, it's not my problem, it's on you, but I'm going to continue to do my job and keep moving. The next example is going to be about attitude. At CNN, there's always been a culture that in order to be successful on the production side of the business, you have to be a video journalist, which is the entry-level job. I don't have a problem with that, but it was not for me. And let me just make it a little more easier for you to understand. That job is the equivalent of being a bagger at Kroger, which I used to be as well. And I did get promoted to a supervisor, so it worked out. So back to the story of being a VJ. I had multiple hiring managers tell me if I wanted to be successful in this company, I needed to go this route. I said, well, why should there only be one route of success in this huge company? It made no sense to me. So I applied for jobs thinking things would work out for me. I applied and applied and applied. No job, no job, no job. Well, Joe, again, we've told you you need to be a VJ. And I said, well, I've told you I don't really care for this option. So I had to be creative in my approach. I had to create a strategy that would work for me so that I could navigate myself around this barrier that was put before me. So upon creativity and forging awesome relationships, I was able to get to where I am now. And next month will be my 12-year anniversary with CNN and Turner Broadcasting. No regrets back then as a teenager, and I'm only 28 now. I sure as heck don't have any regrets right now. So the journey continues. I also want to say you may be on the best path of your life. Everything's hunky-dory. But you should also be prepared. There will be moments of tragedy and downturns and pitfalls, unfortunately. But that is life after all. I found myself to be in an unexpected place in my life. Being in my mid-20s, I lost my father. That was April 2011. I had just taken a new job at CNN to be an assignment editor, literally within the exact same month. No one could have ever told me that I would lose the single most important man in my life. How would I deal with this? I would deal with it through depression. I would deal with it through not understanding. He was in his mid-50s. Here I am, still a child, trying to find my way despite all the success that I had accomplished in all these years. I had no father. I went to work upset because my dad had always wanted to come inside my place of business and see what I did. I turned that into positivity and kept moving. I want to close by saying, never ever let anyone tell you you cannot be successful. Keep moving forward. Embrace yourself. Love yourself. If anyone tells you you cannot do it, find the biggest pack of dynamite and blow it up. Keep walking and pursue your dreams. This is Joe Sutton, my story. Joe Sutton, the millennial, and I hope everyone has a great day.